Hello Virgo, this is your extended reading. So, to my surprise, the World card is not here, and the interesting thing also, in contrast to the cards that came through for the first part of the reading, is that here there are no major arcana, which makes me think that, the last card that finished your first part, which, felt like the other side of the veil once you crossed that portal of the Wheel of Fortune, is like you being born, or you incarnating, right? It's like from this point on, it's almost like it's not that the rules change, but your perception field is changed, right? It's like you no longer can perceive things from the major arcana realm, right? You can only perceive things from a very human, limited perspective, right? Because it's like it's what you're capable of absorbing at the moment that you are. Like it doesn't have a rule in the sense that you are ready to absorb X, Y, or Z amount, right? It's like it is that way in order not to overwhelm you, because it's almost like I can see the formation of your body. Remember, you were summoned up, right, when you received this call, right, to attend this meeting with the 10 of Wands that opened your first part. But the whole point was that you would step into this role to become like the embodiment of this version of yourself, right? It was almost like they were presenting your vessel to you and explaining you like everything that was going to go down, or like everything that you would remember or that you wouldn't remember. And so like it's like making this passage, right? Making this way through, the major arcana realm, which to me feels like the universal consciousness, into this much more limited perspective, right? When we have incarnated. So here I can see like the process of, yes, preparation of your body, but it's also like the formation of your heart. This is essentially the meaning of this reading today here in the extended for you, Virgo. It's like there is this preparation not only of your vessel, right, of your physical vessel. It's almost like that is the last part, or that is like it's like the level of preparation when you're ready, right? So before all of that, it's your heart. The focus is in your heart. And this is where I feel like the Magician plays a great part. Remember, in the first part, it's like they were, just sprinkling all of their magic dust, along the veil that you were crossing when you were crossing through the portal of the Wheel of Fortune and into the 4D, meaning the 3D plus time, right? So here, well, we begin with another 4, which is the 4 of Swords. And because it's the 4 of Swords, actually, I'm going to already start with 2 cards, because although they didn't come together, they just really astonished me to the point that, all of these 4s, right? And we're talking about this physical reality, this third dimension, which has the element of time, which maybe we are just beginning to understand or to fully comprehend what it means or what it is. And it's all based in like this sort of formation of our human perception, right? And this is what these 2 4s are talking about, the spiritual version and the soul version. All of it to, allow you to have this physical perception, right? So it's almost like this is the pathway. It's almost like all of the extended is coming through, when you cross here but you arrive here. It's like the in between from these 2 cards. It's like the what is the word? It's like a hallway, or like sort of like a wormhole or something like that. It's like, you know, in between the Wheel of Fortune and the Four of Pentacles, time is a concept that it's still information. And this is why, you know, it's like it starts from the spirit level and then it goes to the soul level and then it translates into the physical. But all of that is like, there is a reason why all of that happens, and there is a reason why we don't remember that all of that happens. So this is really odd actually to me, because I feel like this is something that is like, you know, maybe some sort of like pre-birth kind of memory. You know, maybe some people do remember. Most of us, I don't remember, but most of us, you know, don't remember. Maybe you, Virgo, being, you know, so connected to Earth, maybe you do remember, and you know, you knew that it would be a lot of work, so you choose not to remember, and it's here coming up again so that you can remember, not only like the process of, you know, deciding to come here, but also like all of the preparation that was, you know, done in your vessel, like in your DNA, in your body cells, and like the formation of like who you are, but, you know, coming from, you know, a realm where bodies are not essential to a realm that a body is essential. Does it make sense? I hope it makes sense. So the two fours, right? This is nothing to do with the traditional meaning of these two cards in tarot, right? It's not about resting, and it's not about happiness or celebration. It's about formation of the concepts in different levels of understanding, you know, your spiritual level of understanding, your soul level of understanding, and your physical level of understanding of what this reality is, and how your perception was molded into having some sort of memories, and, you know, maybe no memory at all of this phase, right? So remember when I was talking about your preparation, right? And the formation of your heart. So here it is, the Ace of Cups. But in between the Four of Wands and the Ace of Cups, we have the Nine of Wands. And this is when it goes back to the Ten of Wands that started this whole reading. That was like your reluctancy to step into this meeting, or to like attend this call, and to like, because you know you're being asked to fulfill or to perform like something that is really hard, or that is like, it really requires a lot of effort, a lot of strength, a lot of dedication, a lot of hard work, a lot of studying, right? So you knew everything that was entailed when you were called. And, you know, here, that's also another thing, right? Remember, there were two figures here in the center. So it's almost like you saw the reaction, in a sense, that this person had when they were calling you. So it's almost like you could anticipate how maybe, you know, I was going to say like dreadful, but, you know, I don't want to be so dramatic. It's like, it's much more like just hard work, right? Let's put it like that. So here, because we have the Nine of Wands, remember when I said that the magician was sprinkling this magic dust that, yes, was like this veil of forgetfulness, but also like the ability to, despite all of the limitations, right, of this reality, it's like you could still see beauty. And this is where it comes back to the Nine of Wands. It's like when you are alone in this, going through this portal, right, going through this process of incarnation or reincarnation or being born, this is the sort of process that nobody can do this for you. It's like an extremely unique individual experience. And this is when something that you were anticipating as being extremely hard or extremely just heavy, right? It's like that you really, really were, you know, trying to avoid for as long as you could, right? Here, when you are in the middle of it, you know, not only you're seeing, it's almost like you're going through exactly like you're participating in a sense of the formation of your perspective, of your perception, right? So you're seeing everything unfold, and you're seeing it with a new set of eyes that now has, you know, this magic dust that the magician threw over you, which, you know, is allowing you to see something that could be seen as dreadful, as something like an incredible opportunity to grow, but an incredible opportunity like to grow a beautiful garden, because, you know, often, you know, the 9 of Wands as the 10 of Wands actually, you know, is like this beautiful path of flowers. So, but before the flowers can grow and bloom, right, it's just soil, right? It's just the land, it's just earth, right? And this is the beginning point, right? This is your starting point. This is the ground zero. So before you get to the ground zero, you have to have maybe the remembrance that you don't remember, right? Maybe until now you didn't know that you had that remembrance, that you could see potential even in the driest lands, or even in the most, the deadliest places, right? And this is all part of the formation of your heart. So see this, the 9 of Wands is not a perspective that is embedded in your mind, is embedded in the formation of your heart, right? So this is the reason why the heart being formed with this sense of perceptual field, that is the reason why your heart will always be able to remember this capacity to see the beauty where there is none yet. Does it make sense, Virgo? I feel like somehow this can be, you know, triggering maybe a lot of emotional things, because most of the times, from my experience, you know, personally, when I feel like I do remember something, I don't remember here. I remember here, and I remember in my heart in a way that it comes through emotions. It doesn't come as like something that is like a certainty, right? Yes, the certainty comes later. It's like the first thing that comes, it's like this wave of emotion. And this is part of like it's almost like the encoded message that is embedded in your heart when it's being formed. So in order for you to not be overwhelmed by the intensity of all of the remembrance, it's almost like it's like encoded in a way that is, it's like you have to break down the emotions, right, in order to receive the real remembrance, right? The ability to see potential and to see beauty when there is none. It's like in all of this, it's like part of becoming who you are. But because the Eight of Cups is coming next, this was talking about dissolution. This was talking about like distributing all of the, I don't know if you ever thought about this, Virgo, or not, but this is something that came really powerfully with these two cards when I saw them together. So this is like full remembrance, right? When we are in deep connection with their heart, it's like there is no doubt, right? Yes, there is certainty, but the certainty comes as a consequence of all of the emotional waves that comes first, right? So with the Eight of Cups, it's like it's almost like this is the distribution of that first emotional knowing, or that first emotional trigger, right, of remembrance. And so this was talking about like chills, or, you know, that sort of like chill in your spine, or, you know, when your hair stand, or, you know, those types of symptoms, or like physical signs that your emotional body is speaking to you. It's like your heart is speaking to you in a coded way that comes distributed, comes dissolved in like waves. It's not like a punch in your heart, right? It's like something that is distributed through your body. And this is part also of how your heart is supposed to be, like how it's, you know, purposely formed, right? In order to not be so overwhelming. So it's like, it's almost like the entire capacity of your heart is distributed through your entire cells. It's like, it's almost like there, that is so interesting. It's like, yes, you have a heart, Virgo, as every human being has, right? And every living being has. But it's like this Eight of Cups was talking about, like how you have like fragments of the wisdom of your heart, of the formation of your heart that is stocked within every single cell of your body. So when your heart is activated to trigger some sort of remembrance, some sort of like potential that you hold inside, it's like it is activating your entire body, right? It's almost like it is distributed for a purpose, and the purpose is to not overwhelm you, right? And this is because with the Page of Cups coming next, it's like this is the amount of stimulus that you can receive with the human vessel, right? Because, you know, the page is like, you know, this is the first core card. So yes, in terms of like age, right? It's like, you know, infancy. So it's talking about like a body that is being formed, but mostly like a heart that is still in its initial phase of formation. So all of the potential is here, all of the, you know, equations and sensations and perceptions are all here, and they are being encoded in a way that comes through a language that is the language of the heart, the language of emotions. It's a language that, yes, brings knowing, brings certainty, brings understanding, but after the emotional part that you gained from the moon, right? It's like this is the contribution that the moon, you know, being part of that council that you attended before coming here, it's like that this is the link, right, to the mother, in a sense, to the heart of the mother. And so being just a heart in its initial phase of formation, this dissolution is not only, you know, welcome, but it's like essential, it's necessary. Otherwise there would be like disruption or like just too much intensity, right? So this is breaking down the intensity, the emotional intensity, to run through your entire still newborn body, or a still newborn physical vessel, right? That is in preparation for you to come here, right? And this is when you're ready to, you know, take on the first few steps, because we have the Two of Wands. And actually I'm going to already add the bottom of the deck, which is the Two of Pentacles. So these, well, this is interesting because, you know, the Two of Pentacles are coming through as like the physical steps. It's almost like learning how to walk. But before you can learn how to walk, it's like you have to have awareness that you have feet, right? It's like here is the, it's almost like the energetic formation of your feet, right? So once your heart is fully formed, right, even though it's in its infancy, it's like become aware, or it's like in going through this veil, or going through this hallway, right, in just being born and coming to this dimension. It's like your feet are the last thing that you have to become aware of in order to take the first few steps, right? Because all of the rest, you participated in it, even though you don't remember. And, you know, maybe the closest thing that you can remember from when you were a baby, maybe, is that like you were touching your feet, you were, you know, trying to chew on your feet, and, you know, walking for the first time. So Because what is the point of knowing that you have 2 feet and walking with it in, it's like standing your own ground, right? Because that was the purpose after all, right? Since you signed that contract, was that you had a healthy vessel, a healthy body, an independent human body, right? That you could walk over your own 2 feet and not wobble, right? Even though it's like all of this formation, yes, it gets to the point that you will have to, take on this first step and the second step. But that is the initial thing in order to feel this independence in your body, right? And this is something that, maybe this was the goal all along, but it's like this extended here, it's like talking about what goes in between, right? And I don't really know if this is, we're talking about this period of 9 months that we spend, in our mother's womb, right? That is, the in-between stages of, crossing over something that was universally known, but then it was like known with restriction, right? With the physical elements at hand. So it's actually really beautiful. And, to be honest, it's like it increases even more your value to be here with this physical vessel. At least to me, seeing from this entire journey, it's almost like you knew it would going to be like hard work, right? It's like having a body is something that it's like it is hard work. But maybe what you are doing so far, Virgo, is incredibly nurturing to yourself, but maybe you needed to know at this moment in time, like, how intense was all of this formation, right? It's like to value even more this human body that you carry, that is this vessel that allows you to, roam around and live this experience. And the reason being that you were chosen because you were the one capable of having fully this human experience, right? Otherwise, the council, in a sense, wouldn't have chosen you, right? Even knowing that it was hard work. So, yeah, the first few steps are the tricky ones, but you've done that, right? So, knowing that, it's almost like just honor yourself, celebrate yourself, Virgo, truly. So, after all of that, let's see what the astrological runes want to add for you, Virgo, as a final guidance. Yeah. So this is so beautiful. So the rune that came through is Jupiter. And Jupiter actually is, the planet that talks about good luck, right? And well wishes and opportunities to grow and to expand and to evolve. But actually what I heard with this Jupiter was, this is the time to enjoy. This is the time to have fun. This is the time to really make the most of this experience. It's like, this is so gorgeous because I feel like I don't know, if you were dragging your feet to come into this lifetime, right? Anticipating that it would be a lot of work, a lot of study, a lot of, hours put in, dedicated to, take care and nurture this body. And knowing that maybe you wouldn't remember most of what came before this, it's like this Jupiter is talking about like this, it's almost like the principles. This is what this Hierophant brought you in this meeting, and this is what, this Jupiter is bringing also as this final guidance for you, Virgo. It's like, it's okay not to know things like straightforward, because the way that you remember things, remember first, it's like through the emotional body, and that is when everything is triggered, and that is like how the fun begins, right? It's almost like make the most of your emotions, make the most of this entire, it's almost like the other species from the council, like from all of the ones that were there, the 3 species, it's like only the moon could feel, right? The other 2, it's like they were neutral or they were emotionless. So it's like enjoy the gift of having all of these emotions. Nevertheless, it's like do not deny the principles, the concepts, the intelligence, right? It's like this is part also, but have fun with it. Make the most out of knowing all of that and feeling all of that, right? One doesn't have to deny the other, right? Or like just decrease the value. How do I say that? It's like just they're not competing against each other, right? Whether you feel more or you think more, right? It's like being analytical is great because this is what this Hierophant made sure that you would bring with you. But also being emotional and sensitive is something that this moon, being also in the council, was sharing and gifting you before you came here, right? So just see the magic again, see the expansion, like enjoy it, see with this, the magic dust, seeing the beauty again, Virgo. This is very interesting and really out there. So I hope it was insightful for you for you too, Virgo. I'm losing my words here. Maybe it's time to shut down and just feel right now. So thank you so much for being here with me, and I'll see you next time, Virgo. Okay, bye.